is it. We are doing this. This is episode 357. Is that a gun or something? 357?
That's a Colt.
Assault rifle. 357
No,
assault rifle. I don't know.
It's a pistol.
I don't know guns, but that sounds like something I know from a rap song.
I think you can make any... Look, we're not arms dealers,
No, God.
obviously.
The only thing I know about guns is from movies and rap songs. But anyway, this is No Laugh Track Podcast. We are here, episode 357. 357, as I said.
Colt Python, that's what it is. Colt Python is a 357 Magnum.
I'm going to Google that as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was a gun in Resident Evil.
Really?
The video game for, yep.
Look at that. In Resident Evil, the video game.
For PlayStation.
Sure.
For
Okay.
PlayStation, yeah.
Look at that. Knowledge from video games. I should have known that, too. Well, that is the voice of Nate Abshire, video game gun expert.
I'm actually, that's probably the most accurate bio anyone has ever used for me. I am a video game soldier.
What are you, you know what? Along those lines, I'm going to... when they introduce you tonight at Acme last night, what intro are you using?
I'm just using Last Comic Standing Season 8.
Last Comic Standing Season 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the intro I've been using since I got it and have not gotten another credit.
People don't know when Season 8. That could have been a year.
You know, if everything goes well this week, I'll be able to throw in has an album on whatever.
Yes.
But I feel like saying that now is a little like it's a little cart before the horse, Yeah,
a little bit.
Like just like and also it feels weird to say in the announcements for the show that you're about to do is recording his album. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know, it feels like wearing the shirt of the band you're about to see kind of. Right, where like, say, I'd rather tell him after.
Sure.
Be like, yeah, when people are like, oh, that was great. And then you're like, yeah, I'm taping my album. And they're like, oh, dope. But before they're like, oh, well, this better be fucking good. So.
How has the week been going? You're not technically, you don't even have to say, but you have recording? You're recording this week, but it's going to be, and you're saving it for the weekend?
Well, the real recording, like the shows that we're actually trying to get the album from are going to be the Friday, Saturday shows.
Okay. Not the late shows. Not the scary late shows.
We're recording those too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I mean,
I hear a lot of people avoid that.
You get a lot of good shows. I mean, it's sometimes they're terrible and sometimes they're great.
Yeah.
It's especially here, like, historically, my favorite show of the week at this club and, like, most good clubs is the Saturday Late Show. Is usually my favorite show.
Really?
Yeah.
Not many people say that.
The Saturday Early Show a lot of times can be, like, I don't want to say, like, a little stuck up.
Date night?
Yeah,
maybe?
It's like it tends to skew a little older, and it tends to skew towards couples, and that's great. And I'm so happy that they come out.
Sure.
But fucking loosen up. No, but so those shows, like the Saturday Early Show, to me tends to be the most conservative, sort of button up crowd that you get for the week. And then the Saturday Late Show a lot of times is a little rowdier, which is like a little more my people.
Okay.
Like I'm like more comfortable at a Red Roof Inn than a hotel with like a valet.
For sure.
Like that's just much more my people. Like when you see people like drinking in the parking lot, I'm like, oh, I'm home.
Yeah.
This is great.
Ditto. I'm much more park my own car and not giving.
Yeah.
Have I ever used valet? Let's be honest here. I don't think so.
Unless some places that's like the only option. And I'm sitting there with like, half of my, like, it feels so awkward to get your car valet parked. Half of my luggage is Cub Foods paper bags. Like like I'm carrying this, I look like someone that's about to stack all of his shit in a shopping cart and walk away.
For sure.
And then I'm like, keep it close, bud. Here's an extra $5.
I eat lunch in my car 3 times a week. There are so many crumbs. I mean, they're going to be getting out. They probably have black pants on. They're wiping crumbs off. Like, sorry, that was a Subway. That was a taco. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
it's probably not best.
So yeah, the Saturday late shows is often much more my people. Friday late is usually the roughest show, just because everyone's tired. That's mostly it.
Oh, I can relate to that one.
Like, just people are like, oh yeah, 10:30 on Friday, and they've been working at, getting up at 6 a.m. every day that week, including that day.
Yeah,
and then they get to the show at 10:30, and they're just it's not that they fall asleep, they're just too tired to
that's
like
no fun.
Really have a good time.
That's no fun. I've been meaning to ask somebody about this. And I'm going to ask Sean Patton when he's here later this year. I think it's announced. He's coming in December.
Definitely ask the better comedians to have on the show.
No, this is about something. Shut up. So I wanted,
I wanted to ask you, but I'm also going to ask the talented people.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going
to
compare his answer to yours. No, it was actually based on his tweet. You son of a bitch. He puts it out a couple weeks ago, and it was something about and you bringing up the late crowd versus an early crowd. He said something about. And Acme doesn't do this, but some clubs will have a 2-drink minimum, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and very common.
Yeah, and his tweet was something like, hey, instead of a 2-drink minimum, hey, clubs, how about a 3-drink maximum so we don't get out of control?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I mean...
In theory, right?
It would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. It would require a massive cultural shift in terms of like trying to explain to someone in a comedy club setting that they can't have another drink without ruining the shows. To me, sounds impossible.
Yeah.
Right? You'd have a lot, instead of people getting rowdy and drunk, you just have a lot of people going, "The fuck you mean?" in the middle of your set.
And not talking to you.
Right. So it's a great idea, and I wish that we could. It seems tough.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm not suggesting it here. I want business to be as successful as possible here. Everyone to have a great night.
Right. I mean, the real combo to me is the people that are just piling the booze into their tummies and also don't understand rhetorical questions and how that works.
Great point.
That's the combination that really kills it. Mm-hmm. Because it's been a long time since I've had a heckler that was actually like trying to burn me or thought they were funnier than me.
Sure.
It's often just people that are just obliterated, and you'll say something that they think is addressed specifically to them, and they answer,
"No, he isn't."
Right.
Huh?
And then you're like, "What?" And then they're like, "What?" And then it's like, "Okay, what the fuck do we do now?" Like, you're confused that I'm talking to you now. And it's just, so I hate that combination specifically.
Yeah.
But whatever. There's a lot of free ways out of that.
Sure. Well, I'm just thinking, this just came to me. What if the tables were turned on someone in the audience answering the rhetorical question, and a spotlight came out and was like, "All right, it's on you. We're not turning this shit off until you answer."
A lot of times, the hecklers that you get are people that are direct. Like, a lot of times, it'll be someone that takes an issue with a bit, and then they'll say something, but it's not loud enough for anyone that's more than a couple seats away from them and you to hear.
Yeah.
And then if you ask them about it, they just shut down.
Yeah. No, never mind.
Where it's and I hate that the most, because it's like, no, like you start. I didn't start this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't just pick you out of a hat and like, I'm gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
You were talking shit, so let's go. I'm not. I just. And that part is, and then the worst is when you keep pressing them, they're like, just go on with your jokes. And it's like, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't fucking tell me what to do. But I try real hard not to get angry, because it ruins my act.
Yeah.
It just does not. All of a sudden I become like this, like I'm the substitute teacher where no one wants to watch Sandlot. And everyone's like, look, you clearly didn't try hard enough to be this mad. My
kids my 11-year-old has a critical thinking class. Just a little side note here about substitute teachers. I don't even know what critical thinking is for a class. Like, I don't even know really what that is.
I mean, you'd probably need to think about it a lot. Figure it out. Hey,
she said,
right, still got it.
She said the other day they had a substitute, and the teacher and the substitute came in and Googled questions for critical thinking class, and that's what he presented to the class. So talk about no research whatsoever.
That is so baller.
Right? So there you go. Just for anybody out there, if whatever career you're in right now doesn't work out, substitute teaching, the bar is very low, apparently.
At your career, if it's not working out, just Google your career and start doing what it says.
Yes. Exactly. How? So you've been working this material. You've been doing it the last 2 nights here at Acme, and we talked a little bit before we started the podcast, switching the order of things around.
Yeah, just trying to move it around to get it the best flow. And the first night went fine. Second night was a little bit better, where I moved a couple jokes around, and I don't think that so much mattered. But the main thing I did between the first night and the second night was I cut a lot of the fat out of a lot of the jokes and probably shaved like 5 minutes off of my act.
Wow.
Just and it's pretty easy to do for me because I tag the shit out of all of my jokes. So just cutting a couple tags on every joke, I end up with like 5 extra minutes.
Okay.
So now I'm putting some more jokes up front, and then we'll end up probably right around, like, I think last night I did about 47 minutes.
Are you listening back on your own the last couple nights? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to it, and really, like, at this point, I just want, like, if I can just, I just want to do it right one time.
Is that too much to ask? Just once in my lifetime?
But I think also, I'm trying to approach it much more like a first date. Where
fake name?
Yes, fake name. Different fake ID. Like, the worst thing you can do as a dude on a first date when something doesn't go right is freak out. So, like, it's better if things don't go according to plan, but you're still cool, than it is to try and make everything go according to plan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm still doing my material, but I'm also, it's tough to get through 45 minutes of speaking, and I don't drink before I go up, like, at all.
Okay.
Ever. And I mean, ever. But I mean, hardly, it's super rare. But I'm definitely not this week. How about that?
Way closer to never than sometimes.
Yeah. Used to be every time. And now it is never. But it's tough to get through 45 minutes of speaking without flubbing a couple words.
Sure.
And you don't want to be like, motherfucker, like, every time you do it, So you just kind of roll on, and hopefully they can fix it in post.
Right. How, just for, to put everything together, like, how long ago did you start comedy? How much time is between starting comedy and recording now?
For me, I waited probably too long. I started in April of 2009, so it's been like 10 and a half years.
Yeah, there are people that record them a little faster than
way faster. Yeah,
Robert Burrell just released his second.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I think for me, if I had recorded 2 years ago, that would have been just about right.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't have wanted to record any earlier than that. I just didn't. I don't think I was ready.
Okay.
And now I'm like, after the first night, I'm like, I could have waited another 10 years.
Stop.
I mean, it's also, you listen to a lot of. I've been listening to a lot of comedy albums, and I don't think that the quality that's out there is above the content that I'm trying to put out. I really don't. I think that I'm right in there, and it's gonna be great. But I do have that thing where after the first night isn't the best set I've ever had. So in my head, I'm like, well, why the fuck am I even doing this?
Maybe I'm not. Shit.
But, that's just that voice is always there. That voice is there when you go to the store to buy shit. I mean,
picking the lane to check out in.
Yeah. I mean,
idiot. Yes. Oh yeah.
Right.
I can relate to that quite a bit. Did you talk to anybody? Any of your comedy friends that have recorded for any tips?
Yeah, I mean, Cy Amundsen is a good friend of mine.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about it. I talked to him a lot, and a few of my other friends, and Sklar brothers have been really nice to me and answer all my stupid questions.
Oh,
sometimes.
They've got quite a bit of experience.
Yeah, they're amazing. But mostly, for the last year, I've just been waiting for a good opportunity to record.
Yeah. Was there any ever doubt that it was going to be at Acme?
There was, but there was never any doubt that I wanted it to be at Acme.
Right on.
I really got started in this room. It wasn't my first ever set. It wasn't here, but I love this room, and I've been here. I've made so many. I mean, it's just this is it's my home club, but it's more than that to me. Mm-hmm. I've always been able to come back here, and it's been amazing. And also, when I first started, Acme felt like it was almost like the way that your parents are superheroes when you're a kid. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm 35 now, and I'm like, my dad's just a fucking dude, turns out, and. He's great. I love, but he is a person. And as I've, been doing comedy, I kind of come to realize that none of these comedy clubs last forever. And not that Acme's going anywhere or anything like that, but also I wanted to record in this room because this room is so special to me.
Yeah.
And it's such a special place, and just the amazing things that have happened here, and it's just, I always wanted it to be here. I don't think I'll do my second album here just because the staff have been such a pain in the ass. But,
oh, yeah, there you go. You listening still in the back there, Brandon? All right.
Did he cut my mic?
And that's this week's up. Thanks for listening.
No, I think at some point, if you're going to record a second album, there should be more than one club in the country that'll headline you.
That's a good point. Yeah, that'll be the test, right?
Right. That's, ideally, that would be a thing that would be possible.
Years from now, I'm like, was there any doubt you were going to do this one at Acme? Well, I tried. Dozens.
I sent emails, let me tell you. No, I always wanted it to be here. Especially with the whole all the condo. Minneapolis is just turning into one fucking condo. There's just so many goddamn condos.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe every time I come back to Minneapolis that anything is still that anything's still here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just everything and I'm not exaggerating. 3 of the last 4 apartments that I lived in Minneapolis have been torn down and turned into condos.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm not surprised.
All the great restaurants, everything. So I wanted it to be here. I wanted the first one to be here, and I'll probably do all of them here, the way things are going, honestly. If they even have me back, who fucking knows, man? Someone might listen to the dig I just made at the staff, which are actually amazing, and I was joking, just to be clear, Brandon.
Have you said who's recording this?
I'm recording with 800 Pound Gorilla.
Oh, okay. Right on.
Which I'm stoked about. I'm really excited. And, it's a bummer because I have friends that run labels and stuff like that, and you can't record with everybody.
Sure.
But I'm really excited to be with 800 Pound. They're great.
Yeah.
Everything I've heard about them is great.
Are you doing video to put out along with it?
I don't actually. So
because I'll tell you, I mean, you know this. I'm sure you know this. Mark Norman was here last week and talked about how well he's doing with the Instagram videos of his stand-up where people put the, transcribe the content. He told me he pays somebody to do that, and it's worth it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Mark Norman has a lot more liquid capital than I do to throw around.
Well,
but
I mean,
I believe him.
but the point still.
I believe that there is going to be some video recorded. I don't know how that will be used, I guess. Mm-hmm. But I know that there's going to be a camera here.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday, but I'm not sure why.
Now, another good thing about this is do you have anything on like the Sirius XM and anything, like any clips or anything yet?
No, I don't have anything.
Pandora, etc.
I have I think I have one joke on a compilation album from 2010 maybe.
Wow.
Like when I was brand new for Stand Up Records Nerd Alert. I was on that compilation album. But I know one of the jokes got cut because I fucked it up. It was a joke about time travel, and I transposed who ages. I don't even really remember this joke, but it was something to the effect of if you have a girlfriend and you're both the same age and one of you gets on a faster than life transport ship, the other one would keep aging. So then you end up in this weird scenario where one of you is 35 and the other is still 18. Is that okay? It was so dumb. You're
not recording that one tonight?
I don't even remember the punchline. But what I did in that is I transposed who got older, and they were like, "We can't. This is just incorrect."
We hear people laughing, but they didn't get it.
You're supposed to be a fucking nerd. Get it right. But the other one, I'm pretty sure is on. I think that there's one out there. So, but a long time ago, I scrubbed a lot of my earlier stuff from the internet just because I didn't like it and I didn't want it out there.
Oh, I thought you were going to say from your act. You just said from the internet.
Well, I also stopped doing those jokes.
Sure.
But I just had a bunch of stuff out, and none of it was jokes and none of it was offensive. It was just jokes that I wasn't a super fan of, and I really wanted to control that sort of aspect of because one thing that happened really early on is I wrote a really simple joke, and it ended up as a sketch on Funny or Die, and the joke was so dumb and simple that I don't think anyone stole it. But I also at the same time was like, I don't really need to make it easier for someone in a writer's room that's struggling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone. I've never had anyone steal one of my jokes.
Okay. But
I also was just I'm not getting anything out of having this stuff out there. So why is it?
Sure.
And I think, and I've always been much more focused on the development aspect. Where I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to do, push myself to be better at stand-up. Not as a person. That's a lost cause. But.
So what is the plan? So you're recording this week at Acme. Eventually, that'll be released. People can hear it. Hopefully. Yeah, right. Well, what's next for you then? You're going to stop doing this material?
Yep. Yeah. All this stuff is dead to me. Once it's recorded.
You're dead to me.
And then move on. I was actually talking to a friend of mine who she has not recorded, and she should because she's been doing it a long time and she's very funny. Very funny comic named Emily Galati. And we're talking about I still like my old jokes, but a lot of my old material, the stuff that I wrote a while ago, it has progressed and become better than it was when I wrote it. But it's like when you first pick up guitar and you do an original composition on the 3 chords you know. It can still be a really dope song. Like some of the early Beatles songs are very simple.
Sure.
Right? But then eventually you learn more chords and you want to write songs that use all those chords. But if you're still playing all of your old songs, you don't have any time to do the new songs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way I feel. Is I feel like a lot of these jokes are simpler than the stuff that I want to be doing.
Interesting.
So I'm really excited because I've still been writing. It just doesn't. It's hard to find the time to push myself to stretch when I have 45 of stuff that's pretty good and usually works. And
yeah.
So I'm really excited to burn all that and start trying to write new stuff.
Yeah.
You know? I want to do a lot more storytelling. I don't really do any storytelling early on in this album. There really isn't any. It's mostly like set up punchline stuff, which is fun and it's good. I think it's good. I'm a smart guy. Sometimes clever, whatever, and possessed with a natural cunning. Not necessarily smart. There's a difference.
I like that. Yeah.
So I'm excited to start telling more stories and kind of using more of the chords that I've learned.
Nice. So now I want to ask you about another thing we talked about briefly before we started, and that is about what is next as far as
sure.
living here? You're living here now.
Yeah.
You're not from here originally.
Right.
You've been living in Minneapolis.
Yeah, like 20 years.
20 years.
Been doing comedy for 10 of it. I don't know. I feel like in a weird way, like this week for me is a real at least emotional sort of capstone to my time in Minneapolis, where I'm recording an album with Corey Adam is emceeing and Trevor Anderson is featuring. Corey Adam and I started the same year. We've been good friends the whole time, and it's really cool that he's finally been hired as an MC, and that's super cool. And then Trevor,
that's so
cool, and
man.
then Trevor and I got hired at Acme at the same time, and our first shows we were together. And so it's really cool. We're all I'm connected to those guys in all these weird ways, and I started in this room and I'm recording my first album here, and my goal was always to record my first album around 10 years in. Was when I thought. I think I could have done it a little sooner, but so it's this weird, it feels almost like a high school graduation kind of thing where I think I'll probably take a gap year, and then
for real.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna do some traveling. I don't really have any money, but I bought a van. I bought a cargo van, and
I like where this is going. Cargo van, travel.
And I've started building it out into a conversion camper van. That is a lot more difficult than I thought it would be, and I think everyone else who was like, that sounds like a lot of work, and I was like, it's not a big deal. They were right. It's a lot of work, but I'm basically planning on building it out, and then I want to travel. I want to go, to the bigger markets. I want to go to Denver, New York, and LA, and Austin seems sweet, drive around and get in adventures and do some comedy, see where I want to live.
Wow.
And then probably just end up back in Minneapolis. every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Have you ever done the stay in the summer, the summer in New York, or fall, winter in California, or anything like that? Have you done that?
No, I often take the last couple of years. I've been taking summers off from stand-up, where I'll just get a job and not worry about trying to do gigs. Just because up north, comedy is it's a lot more difficult to earn a living doing stand-up than it is in the winter.
Sure.
So.
Sure. Okay. I have to ask, what this van that you're converting, what do you picture in its final, what does it look like when you're done?
Really all I want is a really good battery system, deep cycle marine batteries for charging electronics. I want a ventilation fan and like a bed, and then you're gonna need some buckets for stuff. And I don't really want to
wrong bucket.
the thing about vans that you never really think about is that, like an RV, they're higher up, so there's space under the floor for all the stuff you never want to see.
Sure, okay. Yeah.
Your gray water and your black water are the terms for that.
Yeah. Oh, black water.
Yeah. No.
No? Not that?
It's not. It's not
the song?
No. It's very different. And but in a van, like, you'd have to have it like in there with you. And so I'm not going to have a water system at all.
Okay.
I got a gym membership, and so Planet Fitness.
They're national, right?
Yep, they're national.
Right
they're
on.
everywhere. And
they have parking lots.
I might even start working out. Who knows? This could be, a real...
Were you just talking about the shower?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. But I figured it was a good thing for me, like get your shower pass at a place that also has workout equipment, and maybe it'll stick.
Sure.
Who knows?
Screw those places truckers go, man.
Yeah. I don't want to.
No. You can do I don't know. Don't they charge by the $5 for a shower or by the quarter? I don't know. I haven't seen one of those in years.
I've never used.
I've seen them. The truck stop ones.
There's definitely. I'm at a lot of truck stops.
Yeah.
Not even when I'm driving. Anyway, never mind. No. I don't know how they work. I have heard them over the intercom, shower
whatever.
customer 17, your shower is ready, or whatever.
I know they have locks. Could you imagine? At least I hope they do. Could you imagine? Hey, 17's up. Did he say 16? Yeah, fuck it. That'd go over well with the trucker, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was writing in my. No, it wasn't yesterday. It doesn't matter. I was putting in the calendar. I was putting podcasts with Nate Abshire. Do you know? You would know this. Do you know what Abshire autocorrected to?
No.
And I was just trying to do the one-handed thing, so it wasn't right. But it autocorrected to first a white, so it was Nate a white.
Yikes.
And then Angie. Angie.
See, I think it's because it's my name. My phone has always been we know what this is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. For me, it was Nate a white.
I mean, that's pretty accurate.
Are we confirmed with Nate a white?
Feels dismissive of my personhood, but is not inaccurate.
Right. There's a football player right now named Christian Kirk, and every time I hear it, I feel like it's a description. Hey, don't pass the ball to Christian Kirk. He's gonna freaking drop it, or careful what you say around Christian Kirk.
Oh man, that took me way too long to get. Yeah.
Jew Kirk, on the other hand.
Right. No, don't stop. Don't do it.
And then there's, all right, you get it.
Yeah.
You
good old Christian Kirk.
Yeah, Christian Kirk. Very trustworthy. Christian Kirk. Let's talk a little bit about what today is. Today is Halloween.
Yeah. Sure is.
Do you think people will show up in costumes tonight at the show?
I think there will be some. I think usually Halloween's a pretty slow night for stand-up.
I feel like I went to a show last year in Halloween. I think I did.
I did Milwaukee on Halloween once. I think, I don't know. It's usually pretty slow because most people are doing bar crawls and stuff like that, or house parties, big house party night.
Yeah, I mean it's Thursday, so that kind of screws.
Yeah, I think most of the house parties were last week.
Yeah. Did you see that? On the East Coast, for example, they're canceling. They've called off Halloween.
No,
because
I didn't
of
know that.
Snow and rain in some cities, like in Pennsylvania and Connecticut, New Jersey. They've already called, not even already, as of yesterday.
They were don't go trick-or-treating, basically?
Yeah, which I thought, how does that work? What about the people that don't hear about it?
I don't know, I lived in the South
Trick-or-treat! No. It's come back Saturday in November.
That's so weird. We never had weather on Halloween because I grew up in the South. All my trick-or-treating age Halloweens, it was...
You were in Louisiana? Right?
Yeah, Louisiana and Texas, so it was always like, how's the weather? Fine.
Yeah, right. No concern whatsoever.
Great.
Yeah, so they're already canceling it for some people, which...
I think they should cancel Halloween for a lot of people.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, specifically, you know...
Who are you picturing?
Mostly white people, I think, should start just taking a break on Halloween. I think the thing where people go wrong is, like, go as a monster. Mm-hmm. When you dress up for Halloween as another person, you can get into a lot of trouble.
For sure.
So, Frankenstein, no one's writing articles.
Classic. No, you're right.
You're gonna have your job tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember what age you stopped going trick-or-treating?
Probably like 12 or 13-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's late. I breastfed pretty late. But Halloween, I don't know. When did you how late did you breastfeed?
Around breastfeed? I never did.
I was trying to sneak.
You son of a bitch. And then
I was trying to get you to say like 12 or 13 and then
I don't think he caught that. I just actually found out recently I was never breastfed, and my wife thinks that leads to so many things that
yeah, that's probably why you are how you are.
She thinks it has a lot to do with like me not liking to be touched and hugged and all that crap. She's convinced of it.
It has a lot to do with all the dead animals in the neighborhood.
You don't know about that. I don't even live in that neighborhood. I don't know what you're talking about.
Smart. I see what you did.
Yeah. So I think about that about 12 or 13, because then in the neighborhood, then it turned into going to like the little like get together at the park or whatever, where there was hot dogs and pop and stuff. And then I could, then maybe somebody bought a can of shaving cream and you'd screw with somebody's car. Or
yeah. Sure. Friendly pranks.
Yeah.
I
smash the pumpkin later,
Yeah. I think also for me, though, I just started, like, right around 12 and 13 was when video games started getting real good. And then I was like, I'll just stay in. Like, I'm not going to dress up as a werewolf. I could just be a werewolf in this video game.
Castlevania, man.
Do you remember Altered Beast?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course I do.
They actually have a version for your phone now. I downloaded it.
No kidding.
It's not as fun as I remember.
Not many phone versions of games are. There's a Mario Kart on your phone now. There's Q*bert on your phone now.
Wow.
I downloaded both. Neither are close to as fun as
a shame.
The original version.
Also, the CRT TVs, that was a real... The thing I never realized is there's no display lag on those TVs.
Right.
They're instant. All of our monitors now are technically inferior to tube TVs in terms of response time.
Isn't that nuts?
Isn't that crazy? It's so weird to me.
I have a coupon for Goodwill. It expires today. If you want to use it, you will find one.
I feel like Goodwill is going to be pretty picked over on Halloween.
Probably not the day you want to go.
Yeah.
Good point.
I actually, one of my favorite Halloweens, I was working as a porter at a machine shop, which is basically just like a mechanic's assistant. And they sent me to this dealership to get parts. And it was Halloween. And I am wearing just normal clothes. And what happened is one of the girls behind the parts counter was like, I guess just gazing out the window because she wasn't doing anything, and thought that I hit one of the cars in the lot.
Okay.
Which I didn't. I got close to it. And so without telling me, she called the cops and Enterprise, who the car belonged to.
Okay.
And so then they just like stalled me at the parts counter and didn't tell me.
We're going to need a signature.
Like,
hold on, it's printing.
All she asked me was, did you hit that car? And I was like, no. And then I was like, can I get the thing I'm here for? And then they just like stalled me for a while until I looked outside and I saw the cops talking, like standing around the van that I was driving. It was a company vehicle. And I go out there, and then the Enterprise people had showed up. But so the cops are in uniform. They are not dressed up. I mean, they're dressed up as cops because they were
proper uniform,
not on Halloween. It had nothing to do with Halloween. They wore that every day. The Enterprise people, there was a Bride of Frankenstein, Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, and like a kitty cat. One of the parts girls was a kitty cat, and they were all standing out there. I just walked out and could not stop laughing because it was just such a weird day to be like dressed up where something like sort of serious happened. Yeah. And like I'm supposed to have a straight face telling this fucking kitty cat I didn't hit a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like, you walk out and they're like, kitty cat, we need to know exactly what you saw.
So it was very, that was one of my favorite. Just the image of just walking out and it was like cop, Mr. Incredible, Bride of Frankenstein, Miss Incredible, and a cat. And they're all looking at you.
You were out of place, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that is fantastic. Let's see. I'm going to see if there's anything else I wanted to talk to you about here. I have good news for you. Next year, Halloween is on a Saturday. So if you want to dress up and look like Cy Amundsen.
Oh, no.
I have good news for you.
Coffee.
Oh, no, I spilled this coffee. God, I was coming in here to be mean, and I just actually ended up being mean. Look at you guys.
Hi, Cy.
Hello, how are you? You guys, look at you got a haircut, Nate. Did you comment on his haircut early in the show?
No, but
You're such a piece of shit, Justin. Look at it short on. Go fuck yourself. My hair is fine. My hair is just fine. Guys, Nate is recording an album this week, and I'm here to watch it. Not today. Is that a jewel? What a chode. I gotta go, guys.
You know what, Cy? I'm glad that you're here. Don't walk fast. This is for the crossover listeners of Middle of Somewhere and No Laugh Track.
Oh, we have no listeners.
Okay, well, join the group. I thought of you.
I would be terrified if I ever did a podcast that people listened to.
Right?
That would be so scary.
Nate's scared of money.
Cy, you can go ahead and shame me right now. I'm going to admit something to you. The other night we were out at a restaurant, and I don't know if you know, but I have a new baby at home. Yeah. Human baby needed a new diaper. And there was no changing table. Now he's walking away. What was I supposed to do, Cy?
Is it legally yours?
It's legally mine.
Okay.
This has somehow become a thing that people Instagram message me angrily about 3 times a day, and I need everybody to fuck off.
Okay.
I think you were in a situation where you had to change a diaper and there wasn't another option. The dickhead at Whole Foods was just being fucking lazy. And if this Teresa bitch that keeps messaging me doesn't fucking cool it, I'm not gonna do anything, but I'm gonna be angry. Sorry, I ruined the show. I love Nate. Come see Nate's album.
Great job, Cy. Thank you.
Teamwork.
Should I credit him on when we post this episode? Do I need to mention that?
No.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Well, let's cut this part out even.
Let's see here. So, is there anything else we should be mentioning? You're doing the shows. This is Halloween Thursday. People listen. They can still get tickets tonight. Friday, 2 shows. Yep. Saturday, 2 shows.
Friday, Saturday, 2 shows. Those are going to be super sweet. Come to those shows. What's that?
Saturday's almost sold out.
Saturday is almost sold out. Am I getting bonused for that?
I'm not the contract guy, sir.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to talk to my manager because that should have been in the fucking contract.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, he retired 3 years ago. Well, you know what? You can't have everything. It's gonna be really fun, and I'm super excited. I've got tonight. The guest set is Tim Harmston.
Nice.
Friday, the guest set is Chell Bjorgen.
Okay.
And Saturday, Cy might be doing a set if you know how he is.
He's got 3 days to screw it up.
Yeah, he's probably going to show up. I mean, if he doesn't, then it'll just be the people that are supposed to be on the show, which is fine.
Damn right.
So I'm really excited. This week I kind of asked a lot of the comics that I really admired when I first started to come and do sets, and we had Chris Maddock on Tuesday and last night.
That's not somebody who performs here often.
Yeah, I love Chris. He's one of the funniest people in town, and And then I asked all the guys that I really admired when I first started, and also Brian Miller to do sets. Brian Miller did a set last night and was better than I expected, but I wasn't expecting a lot. The good thing is we were able to calibrate the crowd mics while he was on stage because he doesn't really get a lot of laughs. So we were really able to zero him out. No, he did really well. He's got a new bit. His murder mystery bit's great. I really like that one, and he's got a new one about her. Anyway, I don't want to ruin it. Go see Brian Miller do something after this weekend. But these shows are going to be so fun. I'm excited to be done with this material, but it is good, and I wouldn't be recording it if I thought it was not. So everyone should come to. Just come on, man. What are you making me do? Come to a fucking show.
Here's the best. One of the best things I can say about Nate's comedy. I've been a fan for a long time. I've seen him here many times. Never have been disappointed. Another fan is my wife, who isn't always the easiest one to to please. So she's a big Nate Abshire fan.
I feel like you have more strikes against you than I do when it comes to making. Do you know what I mean? Though, like when you're in a relationship with someone, they're gonna seem a lot harder to please because there's a lot of. You get it. Anyway.
Yeah. Congrats on that. Finally getting to the recording.
Thanks, man. I'm excited. It's weird because it feels like I've been working on this thing forever, even though we're only 2 shows into the week. But tonight's going to be super fun. Got some friends coming down. Yeah. Thanks, man. I'm so excited.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Boom. We did it.